This is the Ashlee episode! Ashlee was super excited to see some ruins. She couldn't wait till Palenque, so we tracked down some in the state of Oaxaca and saw on the map it was a little red line to get there, which means a dirt road. She's also been really excited to learn how to ride dirt, so we stuck her on Brant's bike because he had the least amount of luggage and let her give it a go. She did awesome.
She did. There were a lot of ruts and some loose gravel and some hills, some up and downs, and she handled it like a champ.
Since Ashlee was riding Brant's bike, Brant had to ride Andrea's bike to up with her. And if you remember from before, we removed a chain guard because it was rubbing, and they just put too much weight on the suspension and bashed in her coolant reservoir. After riding up ruts and ridges and loose gravel for a little while, we got to some ruins.
They were completely abandoned, save for two shepherds that were passed out.
And a lot of goats.
Seeing ruins with no tourist is excellent. We hiked up and climbed around the temples.
We left the ruins, and Andrea took a back seat and let Ashlee keep riding on the front. Both of our front tires were crap.
Total crap.
We had to buy new ones because they were already worn out.
You had a Dunlop.
D606.
And I had a Pirelli MT21.
And they're both crap.
Do not buy either of those front tires.
We're never going to get sponsors.
The Dunlop 606 rear is amazing. We both picked up some Pirelli MT60s, which are primarily street tires, but they also run pretty well in the dirt. Tires are more expensive in Latin America, surprisingly enough. We wanted to get out of the city as quickly as possible.
And we went up to the mountains. On the way to San Jose del Pacifico, we saw a little place on the side of the road called Los Anguitos, which is the little mushrooms. And we stopped there, and they have really awesome carvings and art, and also freshly baked bread.
Yeah, it was called Pan de Muerte. There were like little tiny heads, like little girls' heads sticking out of the bread. It was really bizarre and cool. Also, the guy who was baking the bread, he was also an artist, a sculptor, a wood carver, and a painter. He was incredible.
You could wander around this restaurant for hours.
After Los Honguitos, we continued down the road through the mountains.
The artisans in the mountains around San Jose del Pacifico are really spectacular.
Unique, psychedelic, colorful.
Patterns beyond anything you'll see anywhere else.
Yeah, hand-painted art, hand-carved.
This kid was like 16 and had his own shop.
Said it took an entire week to make each piece of art.
We continued on to San Jose del Pacifico, which is famous for its mushrooms, but they didn't have any special ones at that time, so we just ate some regular mushroom soup.
It was getting dark, and we watched the sunset above the clouds, and we couldn't see, so we desperately were trying to find a place to stealth camp.
The roads got worse right around San Jose del Pacifico, so once the sun started going down, we didn't want to be caught out there anymore, and we started looking for places to camp, but it's a lot harder to stealth camp up in the mountains like that. Every road pull-off is basically a driveway, and we found one that was fairly hidden. We put our camo covers on our bikes and set our tents up, and then realized that you don't like to camp off the side of the road because most people use this as a bathroom stop, and I stepped in poop.
Human poop. A bunch of people walked by, and we realized that we had been camping in their driveway. They said nothing to us, so we just continued hanging out and packing up our camp. And then we headed to the beach.